Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Yesterday we looked at the Levites and what a wonderful privilege it was that they were able to carry the Ark of God. And it was both a great privilege but also a great responsibility. And we looked at how that relates to us in that we have the wonderful privilege but also the great responsibility of bearing God's presence here in the world through the Holy Spirit. And today in our reading in 1 Chronicles chapter 16, we'll see some ideas that kind of build on that idea. And we'll see that David, in having the ark of God there and in the tent that he had pitched, had some people who rendered service there at the ark. For one, he had Asaph and his relatives ministering before the ark continually, as every day's work required, it mentions there. And then also you had Obed-Edom and his relatives as gatekeepers. You also had Zadok the priest and his relatives offering up the burnt offerings twice a day. And then you also have Haman and Jeduthun and the rest who were with them giving thanks to the Lord and offering up worship. And so in connection to the Ark of God, you have ministry, you have gatekeeping, you have burnt offerings, and then also worship. And I think these four things can relate to what we ought to be doing in connection to the fact that we have God's presence with us. For one, we ought to be ministering. We ought to be working. We ought to be rendering service to God and going out there and doing what God has called us to do, serving other people. As we do it unto them, we do it unto Christ, and offering up just service as each day requires, as it says here in verse 37, as every day requires. Whatever it is that we can find to do that can offer service to God through serving others, we ought to do it. But then we also ought to be gatekeepers. And a gatekeeper, manages what goes in and what goes out. And the same thing is true with us. We need to be gatekeepers. We need to be very careful about what goes into our minds, what goes into our hearts, what we come into contact with on a day-to-day basis, and be careful that we're not coming into contact with things that throw us off course or draw us away from God. But also being careful with what goes out, making sure that what comes out of us is pure and good and lovely and right, and making sure that we are living righteous lives before God. But then also the burnt offerings, as Romans chapter 12 talks about, we offer up our bodies as a living sacrifice. Not just a burnt offering that burns up and then that's it, but a living sacrifice that each and every day is offered up to God as we wake up saying, God, my life is in your hands. And I consecrate and submit myself and give myself as an offering to you. And then worship. Worship should be streaming from our hearts all the time, just praising the Lord, thanking him for everything that we do, or all that he's done, and really just drawing our hearts close to him and staying in a sense of awe of his great power, his great majesty, his goodness, his love, his mercy, his compassion, all those wonderful things that we've come to know about God, just worshiping him in that way. And so as we think about having the Holy Spirit with us, having God with us, we should be doing at least these four things: ministering or offering service to God, being gatekeepers, being careful what comes into our hearts and what comes out of our heart, offering ourselves as offerings to God each and every day, and then just praising and worshiping the Lord all the time. If we can have these four things in place, I think that we will find ourselves very much blessed by that. We'll find our lives full of peace and joy and love, and we'll have those fruits of the Spirit begin to be manifested in our lives, and we'll just be living a life more pleasing to God altogether. So let's be encouraged as we do our reading today, particularly in 1 Chronicles chapter 16, in that particular section. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.